Alrighty, Uncle Roddus back again with a this is what it looks like when I say I'm not buying any more records this year until I paid off my mortgage video. Well, yeah, alright, okay. Look, I have pretty good excuses for most of these, okay, right? So, just get off your high horses, okay? Right, no, actually, okay, this is this is a new purchase. I have no excuse for this one. It turned up on Bandcamp and flying out, and it's a new release by a band called We Will Ride Fast. Emotional Molecules is the name of the record. That's a cool name for a record. This is what playing in the background as I speak, and it's on a nice light, well, mid blue, not dark blue, but not too light, not translucent light, but yeah, nice blue vinyl. Yeah, I like this record. It's very bass driven. Yeah, this is pretty much brand new out this year, so yeah, it is early March now, and I still haven't posted some of the videos I made last year, so I've got a backlog of videos. Anyway, this is one of the ones I do have a good excuse for, and this is a back order that turned up a few weeks back I ordered this well before Christmas. Weta Geographica, their LP or original CD reissue in 2000. This is the first time on vinyl. It is a double LP, although it doesn't have to be. It's just so that we can, they just make us spend more money. No, it may have, to be honest, you know what CDs are like. CDs can go up to 80 minutes, and a lot of bands did use up a lot of that time on CDs in the 2000s. There is 12, 10, 11 songs on here. But yeah, they are it does make the strides quite short, which is a pain. But anyway, these guys were fairly commercially successful. I wasn't too sure about who they were, but it turns out I did know some of the songs back in 2000. So they obviously I think I got them on some compilation CDs that came out at the time. Like I say, I don't really, and I haven't listened to the radio too much for many years, possibly more than 20 now. Apart from when I don't have a choice, on job sites and things. But I did recognise some stuff. Really nice production, radio friendly production, so it's got a big sound, but this actually sounds really, really good. It is a Warner Music Australia Limited, Warner Music release. Okay, whatever. Right, okay, here's another one I have no excuse for. I went to a gig last weekend and was quite surprised and knew nothing about it, but this was there. This is the new record from Opposite Sex, and they were playing that night, which is what actually got me to go. Although the Bats were playing that night, that was enough to get me to go as well, but the fact that Opposite Sex were playing, actually there were four artists playing that night, and all of them were really good. All of them I had records by. Opposite Sex are a three-piece from Dunedin. Like I say, this is their third record, and actually I think this could be their best one so far. It is really good. I really like them. I like all their records, but I think this is turning out to be their best. They played about 3 tracks off this live that night, I think, maybe more. Certainly 2 that I remember quite well. Actually, yeah, there were 3 that I remember. All really good. They're really good live, and I said to Craig, who was with me, this looks like it's going to be a really good record. He brought the previous LP because they had all 3 of them there for sale, and played it, and got home and played it, and then played this one on Bandcamp, and said he probably likes this one better. But anyway, that is a really good record. Here's another one that I do have an excuse for, and this is another one that was a reissue I ordered before Christmas, and it finally turned up. And this is, I'm really excited to have this. So Belter Space Whammo. This is their 1995 record that was released, I believe, originally on Flying Nun. This is also a Flying Nun reissue. It doesn't say, but yeah, this is a Flying Nun reissue via Matador. Now Matador released this originally. Belter Space were actually based in the States, I think, and one of them still is. One of the guys still is. I think they're almost down to just one guy now, and he put out some records recently in the last sort of 5 years. Or, oh no, was it 2012, 2013? Time flies, doesn't it? So this is probably their classic. I mean, they put out some great records, and I've got a lot of them on CD, but not this one. Yeah, so it came out on vinyl on Matador in '95. That's quite hard to find, but it is around. But this reissue is easy to get, and really pleased to get it. This one I have a very good excuse for because I didn't buy it. My wife bought it. She said she was visiting her friend up in the North Island for a weekend, or an extended weekend, and her friend was working some of the time, so she got out into the shops and did a little wander around. Anyway, she ended up in JB Hi-Fi. Now, I don't normally shop much in JB Hi-Fi, I've said that before. She rang me and said, look, I'm in JB Hi-Fi, can I buy you a record? And I said, if you want, darling, that would be wonderful. And she said, look, I found the New Zealand bins, but I don't know what to get. So I said, well, we were on the phone together, so I just said, rattle through what's there. And I was like, got it, don't want it, got it. Oh, what was that one again? Now, okay, I think I knew this was coming out. I think I knew this had come out, and I think I had to listen to it on a video or something, I don't know. And I wasn't that taken, but I thought, well, bugger it. This Rose Bayonet, Leather and Chains. Now, this was a record that came out in the mid-80s. I think 84 it was released, but they'd already split up by then. And apparently they were a real big live band. This is, early New Zealand heavy metal. They were a big live band back in the 80s, apparently, around Wellington. Never actually put anything out in their lifetime. But a limited release of about 500 copies of this record was put out in about 1984 by some fans of the band, I understand. Now, you're paying $500 for a copy of this. Now, this is reissued, pressed on Holiday Record, but reissued by an outfit called Rock Stuff Records. Now, Rock Stuff Records is an online record seller, as far as I'm aware, online only, up in the North Island. I have brought a couple of New Zealand records off them that are quite rare, so they have some good stuff. Yeah, as you can see, it's on blue vinyl. Now, it's not quite the original album. There is some slightly different tracks on here. It is pretty much a compilation. It was never actually intended as a full album by the band. It was, like I say, put out by some fans after the band had split up. Yeah, musically, I don't know. It's alright, it's growing on me a bit, but to be honest, it could be a collector's item as well as the original, because there were only 300 copies pressed, and, might be worth a bit of money. Just arrived in the mail today. I have a good excuse for this one, because it was also a pre-order that I ordered well before Christmas. Roy Montgomery, his latest record, Island of Lost Souls. On Grapefruit are a great label out of the USA, and they have done quite a lot of Roy stuff, some Dead Sea stuff, some renderers stuff, I believe, and the renderizers, which is the renderers and some other guy. I got the record there, I can't remember. Roy Montgomery and Bruce Russell did a collaboration together, I think, from memory, on Grapefruit, which is really expensive to pick up if you can get it. But this is the new one. He's got 4 releases coming out this year. This is the first one. It is on coloured vinyl. Roy, it's on, you might not, oh yeah, you can see it in the light. It's kind of a greeny, tealy colour. So Roy is famous in New Zealand for being in the very first band to release a single on Flying Nun Records in 1981. That was the Pin Group. So Flying Nun 001 is the Pin Group's 7-inch single, Ambivalence. They put out a couple of singles which are extremely sought after and extremely expensive if you can find them. One of them selling for over $4,000 not more than a year or so ago. Roy's music now is completely different. It's very atmospheric guitar looping. He plays sort of a circular strumming guitar. It's really good, and then lots of little embellishments and melodies hiding amongst it. It's a very focused listen. Seen him live a couple of times, and the first time it absolutely blew my mind. And this sounds very similar to what he did on that night. Okay, and finally, just arrived today, and I have absolutely no excuse for this one. I just completely gave in, and to peer pressure and to my desire to have and to hold. Yes, there it is, the new Neil Young live box set, part of his archive releases, I guess. What's it called? Way Down in the Rust Bucket, Neil Young Crazy Horse. 4 LPs of live recordings from Crazy Horse and Neil from 1990s, I believe. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I haven't researched it enough, but this just turned up today. I've just finished cleaning it. So kind of pretty sort of psychedelic looking shots of the band there on each record. Just 3. So this, yeah, like I say, I think this is from around the 90s, early 90s. And I do believe that a lot of the material is from those albums that came out around that time. I do have the live Weld CD? Actually, Arc Weld CD with the extra CD on it. I've had that for many years. So Neil Young, for me, I didn't really get into Neil Young a lot when I was younger. I was really right into my punk stuff and everything, and Neil Young was like an old hippie, you know, I mean, to me, when I was in my 20s. But around 1990, well, I was in my mid-20s, 89, 90, about the time that This Note's For You came out, and then Freedom, and then Ragged Glory, I think in that order from memory. Those 3 records, I was put onto them via the NME, and I actually bought those all on vinyl as they came out back at that stage, and that's what really got me into Neil Young. So I believe that this recording is from around about that era, and there's no track listing written here at all, although you fucked ups on it. Cinnamon Girls on it, Farmer John. So there's Farmer John and Fucked Up. There's a couple of tracks from that sort of era, but there's actually no bloody track listing on this at all. No, nothing. Just a list of the players. Okay. Yeah, no track listing. So nice little box, but not a lot of information there at all, really. So like I say, I've only just got this today, so I haven't actually played it yet, although I did have a listen to some sound clips on YouTube. So there it is, a bunch of records that I shouldn't have brought, a bunch of records that I had already ordered, and it's going to be the same next month because there's a bunch of records that I have in back order that still haven't arrived from the United States. There's 5 records coming from 4 from International Anthem label, which I'm really excited about, and they are basically waiting for the latest one that I bought, which was on back order, pre-order. So they're on their way. A bootleg of a compilation, a very hard to find compilation in New Zealand, is hopefully winging its way to me, but there is some controversy about that. I haven't had a shipping notice, a lot of people have, so I don't know what state of that is. And then, so those are the ones that I should be getting because they were paid for well before Christmas. Well, except for maybe that compilation. I might have had to get onto that because that was going to disappear fast. But just yesterday, I spent a whole bunch of money that I shouldn't have at Flying Out because there's a whole bunch of new releases that have come up that I couldn't really say no to. New Zealand stuff. Oh, plus the 2 clean reissues which are coming out. Although I didn't have to pay for those because I got a refund because some other records that they couldn't source for me that I'd paid for, which I talked about earlier. So anyway, look, I'm going to stop pissing around and prattling on. Okay, so I don't know. Video number 130. God knows what. Why Uncle Roddus hasn't got any fucking money. Neil Young.